Hey, witches.
Hi, hello, welcome back. Today we're going to be crying
So
a
much.
lot.
So much crying, yelling, screaming. Just
It's
so
so good
much
though.
happened. So fucking much. It was like, what, 110 pages, but it felt like it could have been a whole book all on its own. Like,
I know. At every twist and turn, I'm sitting here like, the audacity. No, fuck you. Like I was back and forth with emotions,
yes.
and
So
like Will
it's
took a,
part 3 of the book, which is Valkyrie.
uh, and like Will took a nap and he came in, and I was just tearing, and he's like, "You good?" Yeah.
Like, oh.
I'm okay. And he just sat down and went back to work. And I was like,
Oh my gosh.
anyways,
So fucking much happens. Like, just yikes.
heartache.
But I also, like, I don't know. I have a theory and I'm, like, sad about it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that till the end, though.
Okay. I was
um,
gonna say, what's your theory?
it doesn't. It doesn't come in until the very last thing that we learn about in the
Oh,
end
okay.
of the last
Okay.
chapter. So I have a
Yeah.
theory about that. Because SJM likes to make me cry. I just creased the back cover of my book. Ugh, that's gonna drive me insane. Okay, anyway. Chapter
Chapter
51,
51.
part 3, Valkyrie. We start out training with the Valkyrie. And this dynamic between these three females is amazing to me. Like, Emery and Gwen are like teasing Nesta because they're like, hey, so y'all fucked, right? Like, hey,
You were
hey.
gone for like a week, and so you mean to tell me this happened, but this didn't?
So you mean to tell me that you got into a fight with your family, disappeared for a week with Cassian, and came back able to use an actual sword? But I'm supposed to believe you when you say nothing happened. That's how I imagine Emery said that because that's how I would say it. But and then I just I can't even. I just can't even. Also on 515, um, they're like trying to cut the fucking ribbon. Like they found this new Valkyrie thing, Gwen did, and it's like they tie a ribbon to a beam, and when they can cut the ribbon in half, then they've completed their training, whatever, whatever. And
Yeah. I have some very hard feelings about this. If that sword is strong enough to cut through fucking people, it's gonna cut through a sword or ribbon. If it's not strong enough to cut through a ribbon, it's not sharp enough. The
so I
fuck you
think like
mean?
the ribbon is only tied to one end of the stick and just like hanging. So like if you hit it with the sword, but you don't hit it fast enough, it's just gonna like flutter out of the way.
Oh, okay. This entire time I'm thinking it is like tied to two fucking poles, like ready for the rear end, and I'm sitting here
the
like,
like the like awareness that just came over your face was like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Okay.
well,
Got
okay,
it.
it's like when I read it, I'm sitting here like, all right, so she's tied it to this, and then it's like, okay, you got to cut the ribbon, and I just automatically like when I think cut the ribbon, I'm like, it's a whole new adventure. That's a new store opening, cut the ribbon kind of thing. Like,
Right.
I won the race, cut the ribbon. Like, not just fucking hanging there. So yes, I was confused this entire time. I thought it
Yeah.
was, and I was
I'm
like,
pretty sure the ribbon is just
fucking
hanging loose.
Valkyries. Okay. Well, it does say like tying a length of white silk ribbon to a wood beam jutting from the side of the pit. Neither the
Yeah.
ribbon nor the beam had been there a week ago. So I'm like, okay, so is it like just hang like it's like a beam across and then it's like hanging down?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay. I
So
take that. I take it all back.
I love the dynamic at the bottom of page 515 when Anne Marie like tries to cut the ribbon and it doesn't work, and she's like, "Let's all admit we knew that would happen." And Cassian says, "Looks like I'll see you at training tomorrow." Asshole, Nesta muttered. Like, I just love that whole dynamic.
And
And
then he
then,
goes up and fucking cuts it.
yes,
A little shit. And
right?
then
Like,
everybody's like, all right, it's
he's like,
fucking
"At least
on.
I can
Like,
cut a ribbon."
I'm gonna fucking
All
destroy
right,
you.
asshole. uh.
Ugh.
And then, naturally, we go into a sex scene because I don't know if y'all have seen the memes, but this here book, but at the
Sex.
top of page 518,
Listen,
roar.
listen. Okay. My sixth grade Catholic school teacher liked the meme that we shared on our social media. She didn't like it on the social media like site. I shared it. She liked it. She was like heart and I was like, "Ma'am,
Oh,
Miss Ma'am, are
okay.
you
She's
a
still a Catholic school teacher?
She works at a different Catholic school, but she's still a teacher that's at a Catholic school." And
That's
I'm sitting here
hilarious.
like and maybe this is just like my naivety on like being an adult, but also being like the Catholic like faith growing up. I swear, and this might also be become because like my principal was like a sister, like she was
Like, yeah,
like a sister of the faith.
like a nun.
Yeah, we called her Sister Rosemary. Here's the thing. She was a cold, stone, hard ass bitch.
Oh,
She was very
okay.
nice though. So like no qualms against her or anything like that. But like never, I mean, and obviously like we all like go to school, but like even outside of school at like the bazaar. So like we would have like a fundraiser kind of thing, like a bazaar day. I never once heard anybody curse, nothing. Like said hell, yeah. Said damn, no. Like nothing. So when I get older, like in high school, and I add my teachers from grade school like on Facebook and I see them cursing, tell me why I was like my mind went completely blank, like I blacked out. And so when I
I look
saw her
around.
like pop when I saw her pop up liking it and it was just like the alien meme guy, sex. And I'm sitting here like, Miss Ma'am, are you okay?
That's like, I
Have
look
you read
around
these
at
books?
like me and my friends, and I'm like, were my teachers this wild?
Right?
like,
I'm, I'm sitting here
like,
like,
we out here
like,
wilding. Were y'all wild?
are you okay now? Like, damn. And
Well,
like,
and
I
like
had a
I
friend.
know some of my like high school teachers now. Like I knew then. I think that they were like potheads, but like one of them, I have confirmed like he's very open about it. He's retired also now, but like I'm just like,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Well, and there's like a what is it? There's like a thing where oh, fuck, what was it? Um, like a girl I knew from high school. She went on to be a teacher. She's sitting there talking about how all her teacher friends like do fucking like drugs, like not weed, drugs. And I'm sitting here like, did our teachers do that?
Yeah, they
Like,
did.
who?
They did.
I mean, like, I
Because
know they like grew up in the 80s and like 70s, some of them, but like,
like sorry, not sorry, but our job fucking sucks.
yeah.
So
And I'm
you
sitting
got to
here
do
like,
what you
my
got to do to
mom,
get by.
right? And I'm sitting here like, my mom was a shithead, like, student. Like, I have a teacher that fucking hates me because of relations with that woman.
Well,
And I'm sitting here like, teachers do this? Like, my mom did this. The teacher that fucking hates me. I'm sure he fucking does it. Why are you mad at me? Like,
right? What?
anyways.
Why is it different when I do it? Double standard.
So I just like the whole teacher liking sex post about Silver Flames and knowing some of these scenes and like how like
Yes,
bashful
like,
they are, like
well, and so
what?
some of like the earlier books in this series, people call it smut, and I'm like, is it? Is
This is
it?
dark romance right
This
here.
this book
This is the
is
TikTok
smut.
stuff. Like
Yes.
this is the stuff TikTok like people talk about, like dark
Oh
romances,
my
like
gosh.
tying up, like
You
doing
sent me
dirty
a
shit.
reel. You sent me a reel about
What's it about
Tamlin,
Tamlin? Yeah.
and Brittany walked behind me and was like, "Fucking Tamlin, you fucking tampon," and I was like,
Suck a dick.
I was
It was
dying.
it was like a picture of Tamlin and it was like from I think Mastermind, I think it was. Like the animated movie, like Mr. Master, I don't know, some animated movie about a superhero that didn't make it was like not
I don't
Pixar, but
remember.
DreamWorks. It was
Megamind?
like a
Megamind.
DreamWorks one. Megamind, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the short little dude saying, or was it Megamind? Was it
I don't
Megamind or was it
remember.
like the
Good God.
Lorax dude? Anyways, it was a
It was
short little
funny.
like he goes, "Let it die,"
Oh yeah,
because
let
it was
it die. No, it's from the Lorax. Yeah, it's from the Lorax.
yeah.
It's the mayor of the Lorax.
I was gonna say, isn't it the mayor of Lorax City or whatever the movie
Yeah.
or the show? But yeah, so it's like a picture of Tamlin and it's like POV. Everyone's asking about a redemption book for Tamlin, and then it's like me being the mayor, let it die, let it die, let it die.
Let it shrivel up and die. Yes, yes, yes. Brittany fucking died. She was behind me dying when I was watching that.
I saw that and I was like, I know who would
Yes.
laugh this one.
Yes. Me. It's me. Hi.
I'm the problem, it's me.
I say that at school all the time because the
every single
children
time I
love it.
every single time I piss somebody off at work, whether it be a coworker or like a customer, and it's not even like on purpose. Like I don't sit there and like I'm not an asshole to you on purpose. Like you are literally going against what like we're supposed to be doing kind of thing. And they just get pissed off and I'm like, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically.
Bitch. Anyways.
Ugh.
Anyways, sex scene. It goes straight into it.
It does. And
It
then,
kind of really smacked
Cassian
me in the
came with a
face.
rar.
Rawr.
Rar.
Honestly, I was like, man, this is such a sentimental moment. Like this is like defining the girls. Boom, sex scene, and I'm like,
Oh. Oh.
okay,
Just
well now I
dive
got
right in.
whiplash. Like,
I'm about
damn.
to dive
And we sure did.
in. Yeah, we did.
Um, because they are just having sex, really rough sex,
Yep. Yep.
for several pages. Just
And then,
kidding, too.
so on the next, like, at the next little section after the next little, like, page break thing, Nesta's asking Gwen about going to, like, the basically church services where they do music and worship and stuff. But, like, I was like, as I was reading this part, was like having some kind of like emotional connection to this book. And I think part of the reason I relate so hard to Nesta and her friend group is that they're all broken, but they're like healing together and helping each other heal. And like she just found this little family of broken people. And I feel like I did that too. Like I've built my
Yeah,
own family, and not necessarily all of it. No, we were all broken. We're all broken. Okay. And we all just trying to be fixed. But we're working together to like build our mental health and to build our coping strategies and to build like this new little family unit. And I like it. And I think that's why I
yeah.
relate so hard to this book.
And a lot of the people that have read this book that have talked to me, they're like, you're gonna like this book way more. You're gonna like this character way more. You're gonna resonate with it more
Yes.
than any like you thought you resonated with like the other books, like different aspects maybe, but like this takes it
The
to a
other books
whole
just
new
pissed me off.
level. Yeah.
Like they
I
were
felt more
good.
anger.
Well, the first one was not. Let I'm just gonna be 1,000% honest. When we finished the first Akatar book, I was like, "What the fuck does she have me reading?" But everyone was like, "The first book sucks. It gets better." So like, we
Yeah.
kept going, and it did. It like got immensely better in the second book. But this book and this character and like this
It
cast,
was worth the like reading.
yes. And like while they still piss me off sometimes with the stupid shit they do, it's not nearly as bad as the Gryffindor energy that is Feyre and Reese and Tamlin. Fucking tampon.
Tamlin. God. Let it die, let it die, let it. Oh,
Oy.
anyways. Um so I'm just really, really happy about this friendship with them. Like it made me cry. I mean, I'm just so happy for her because it's like step one, find people that like you believe are like understand you, or find people that not necessarily have gone through the same shit as you, but like cohesively can work together. And she finally has found that, seen like the struggles,
Yes. And found people
and
that will
then
accept her despite her brokenness and like help her on her road
and
to
she's
recovery.
slowly opening up about everything because she'll just be like, I
Yes.
love music. And then
And they
Gwen's
are
like,
too. Like,
yeah. And Gwen's like, your story's worth being told, you know? And
yes.
she's
And then
just
we
like,
find out more about Gwen in these next couple chapters, and it's like sad but also like sweet. And I'm like, I love it.
I know. I
And
probably
they want
cried
to
a
know
lot
if it's
more.
like, is SJM a Swifty? Because I feel like Gwen is a Swifty with
I
the
thought so
friendship
too.
bracelet. Yeah.
Yes. As soon as I saw that, I was like, are they Taylor Swift fans?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I thought when I read about
But it
this.
also okay, I'll make that comment when we get up to it. But
Yeah, I just
anyways,
skipped like a whole bunch of shit.
chapter 52. Uh
um, so
this
I transposed my numbers because I wrote 532, but I meant 523. Um, Nesta goes to like the service or whatever, and like I knew this was gonna happen, but like Gwen ends up being one of the like musicians, and she's like smirking and being all like coy about it because she didn't tell Nesta that ahead of time. But I
yeah,
thought that
she
was
just said
super
like the
cute.
music is great. And
Yeah,
she's so excited and giddy when she sees her because she's like
yeah, and I thought it was super cute because
it's
I
like a
was just
little
like,
child seeing their parents in the at like
yes,
their first grade like
uh-huh.
choir thing or whatever.
Yep,
It's
I
like,
love it.
there's my mom. It's so
Which is
fucking
why y'all
cute.
need to go to that kind of stuff because when you
Yeah.
don't show up, your kid notices and they get sad.
I was so sad when my mom could, and it's not like she never went because she like didn't want to go. She worked a lot and she would always pull like late hours. And I thought she said she was going to try to make this basketball game, and I was so excited. I tried so hard to get like baskets. I finally made a basket. It was a 3-pointer, and I wasn't very good at basketball. I was like fourth, fifth string of like this tiny little like Catholic schoolgirl team of basketball players. And I got put in because like somebody needed a break, and I was playing my heart out, and I got a 3-pointer, and I turned to look right where I knew my dad was, and I didn't see mom there, and I just like
Aww.
crumbled. I was so sad. And then when I got home, I was like excited, but like not as excited as like the pure joy. And my
Right.
mom's like, "How was it?" And then I was like, "I did a 3-pointer." And mom got so excited, and I was like, "Yeah, it's okay, it's whatever."
Right. Because she wasn't
Being like
there
a
to like
fifth
share
grader,
in that
yeah.
moment.
And
Yeah.
dad was like, dad's got some hidden anger issues because he was really pissed off because like you could hear him like toss some shit. He was
Yeah.
so pissed off. Not at mom. He was just mad at my mom's job
Right.
because he's like, this is bullshit. Like,
It
and
does
so
suck. Like, and like, it's not
yeah,
her fault. Like, you have to have a job, you have to work to raise your kids, but like,
right? And after
Exactly.
that, like for Christmas, once I hit like a certain age where like Christmas wasn't a huge thing, mom always volunteered to go in and work for like 5 hours on like Christmas morning. And I get so upset with her. I'd be like, come on, like, why aren't you doing this? She goes, Emily, you don't get out of bed until like 11 o'clock, anyways. I'll be home by 10. Then we can open
Right.
up Christmas gifts
And
and we
she
could do
probably got
that.
paid like double, triple time.
Yeah. And I got so mad. I was like, Mom, like, you always do this. And she goes, you want to know why I always do that? And this actually made me really, really like cry, like because I like finally understood like mom's like decisions for doing certain things. But she was like, I do it because I have coworkers who have little kids and I don't want them to miss out on Christmas joy. So I
Right.
work so that they could have the morning off, so that their kids can open up and believe that Santa has visited and like be there with their kids and see that joy. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I
Okay, I
take it all
suck. I
back.
suck. I'm sorry.
I know, like the loathing that Nesta goes through.
Yes.
I feel that. I feel that on
Yes.
a tremendous level. Listen, this is therapy.
Absolutely.
This is fucking therapy. It's sad therapy because it makes you think, but it's good. But anyway, so like it's just oh man, like just being there to support and like that excitedness that she got to feel is just so heartwarming. But
Yes.
I
Um,
just oh
so and then she's like, so she's listening to the music, right? And she's like vibing and she's just jamming along. And then all of a sudden she's crying. Like she gets so relaxed. I literally wrote, did she just cry without meaning to? Because she was literally like so relaxed and
into
like
it. Yeah.
almost meditative
I
and
was
was
really
able to like,
confused too.
yeah.
When they
And
were
then they
like
go
talking
on to
about
explain it
mountains.
like later.
Yeah. She was like describing mountains and like misty peaks and all of that and like how barren it was. And I'm sitting here like, this sounds like Lord of the Rings, like music kind of thing, like Misty Mountain kind of bullshit. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, but she's imagining this. Wait, hold on. Is she like doing something she shouldn't be doing right now? Because
Yeah.
it they made a point saying she needs to scry soon. However, she's going to do this. And I'm sitting here like,
I think she just might have done it.
did you
Oops.
do that, ma'am?
Oops. Oops.
And we find out
That the
it's
harp
at the
is
prison.
at the prison.
And Cassian's telling Reese, and you could just see the stress of Reese, like with everything. And you know what? Reese really pisses me off. And he's pissed me off a lot in this book because of like he's
Yes.
acting like Tamlin. I get it. You're trying to protect her to protect the kid. And I get why you're doing it. This is a little extreme, but
Yeah.
he doesn't
He's
deserve
being a
this
big dickhead.
stress. Yeah.
No,
But
he
he
doesn't.
also,
And like the prison, everything always comes back to the prison, the fucking prison.
right?
And then
And
I
he
do
put a
agree
lot
with
of
Cassian
wards on
though.
it too in an
Yeah.
attempt to keep them from being involved. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
And to
that is
keep other
so
people from,
smart.
yeah,
And then
from
all of
like
a sudden
pulling
he's
him
just
out.
like, great, it's
It's
there.
fabulous. So like he has to take all those wards back off, and then Cassian and Nesta are going to go to the prison. And I completely agree with Cassian here because Reese gives Cassian the sword that Nesta forged, um, to see what happens if she uses it.
And I
And
could just imagine this moment like a
yeah,
fly on the wall, this tense moment between these like family members. And he's
because
like,
Cassian's like, a visit to the prison isn't the time for one of your experiments. And it's just like,
and then
yes, like it's not appropriate.
it's not appropriate, but then he's just like, then you better hope that she doesn't draw it. I could just like feel it. Like he
Yes.
just turns around like matter of factly, like you're doing this.
Yeah.
No smile, no hint of joking, anything. It's just you better
Yeah.
hope she doesn't have to draw it. And
But
it's like
it is her sword. So like let's see what happens, I
and
guess.
here's the thing too. I understand where he's coming from only because of like other problems, like other times they've gotten it. Like she was without. She didn't have
Mm,
a sword when it came to the thing. She didn't have a like Feyre didn't have anything on her when they were like drowning.
right.
So like, not that a sword would, help matters at all with that,
Right,
but
but
still, they were not prepared, and so Reese is like, maybe be prepared just in case. Plus, it is a harp that can open up doors, and they're in the middle of a prison, so even better.
yep. And
But
so
poor
she's
guy, he's
like,
under a lot of stress.
and Nesta's like, oh, so Reese is like, if I use it and it doesn't work, it'll kill me and take out like two birds, one stone kind of thing. And I'm just like, bruh. But
Honestly, though, that thought crossed my mind though.
yeah,
I thought about it. I was like, oh, maybe she'll turn and like try to attack Cass, and that's just what happens to happen. Like some weird.
no, I don't think it's Cassian. I do think someone's gonna die soon, but I don't think it's Cassian.
Yeah, I honestly think it's Emery.
I do too. I do too. That's my
I just,
theory.
I'm starting to love Emery so much, and I
It
know
can't
it's
be
coming.
Gwen, because Gwen would be like killing Elaine.
Yeah.
I think it's Emery too. But we'll get there.
Okay.
um,
Anyways,
so like they go to the prison and they're like they just start talking about all of these. I feel like I missed a whole fucking chapter of this book because they're like, don't talk about anything, don't talk about Amryn, don't talk about anything regarding the trove or the court or Feyre's pregnancy, don't speak of the creatures he put in here, don't do anything except walk and stay on high alert and get the harp out before it could unleash chaos.
he's literally
But
seen like the afterlife with this prison trip. Like he is.
right, well, but I'm also like, okay, but then they start talking about like all the different creatures that are behind the different doors, like Blue Anise, and Nesta knows who that is. I'm like, did I miss a chapter where he like talked about the creatures that he put in here? And
I'm
like
glad you
Lanthus,
said that
I
because I'm
literally
sitting here
wrote,
like,
what the fuck is a
who-
Lanthus?
right? I'm sitting here like,
I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it anyway.
yeah, I don't know how else you would pronounce it. I mean,
Yeah.
Lanthice, probably
Lanthice,
not.
like Lanthese. I don't know.
Oh, I like Lanthice, but Lanthus probably. But like, he's sitting there staring at this door, like, fuck, like
Yeah.
this is where we have to go. Like, we have to like unleash this thing. And she's like, no, it's this way. And then
Right.
she like goes down, and I'm sitting here like, Lanthus, like, what the? How does she
The
know
fuck is
Lanthus?
Lanthus? Yeah. Like,
And I'm sitting here of all the things that we've like seen and talked about, and it's like no matter what, none of that name has never popped up to me.
no. No. That's why I
But
was like, I feel like I missed like a whole fucking chapter. And I kind of at first started to like mix this book and The Night in Its Moon, where like she does read about all the different monsters. And I kind
yeah,
of was like, whoa, I'm
yeah. Well, and
combining
here's the
books
thing:
here.
I have to like really, really think about what, and that's why I don't like reading two books at the same time. Like, I really want to start like Mistborn, the new, like my new book, but I am absolutely terrified to start it because I'm gonna start like fucking things up in between the two.
Well, we're almost done with this one, and then we can start that one.
I'm so
I just got to
excited.
go buy it first, but that's fine.
You
But
can get
yeah,
the
I
whole
was like,
set. Gotta.
it's in my Amazon cart, but I'm gonna go check the local bookstore first and see if they have a copy, just because I like to support them. But
Yeah,
if they don't have a
but
copy on hand, then I will just order the one on Amazon.
just be like, hey, will you order this for me? Thanks. I still want to buy from you.
Well, it takes a lot longer when you order from them,
Yeah,
have
makes
them order
sense.
for you. But yeah, I literally wrote, what the fuck is Atlantis? Because what the fuck? I mean, now I know what it is, but when I first read about it, I was like, what the fuck? Um, and then at the bottom of page 532, there is a total swoon worthy moment. Like, ugh, my heart. She's going into
She's going
the
into like the warded area where the harp is.
yeah, and she's like, he says, you lead, I'll follow. And she says, what if my presence would go unnoticed, but yours sets off a trap? We can't risk that. And he says, I can't risk you.
And then she's like, You have to.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, oh.
And then she didn't have to say this, but she did. She was like, you're training me to be a warrior, but you're keeping me from danger. How is that any different than a caged animal? And he just like stops and he goes, all right, go. Like, but one sign of trouble, I'm coming in there to get you. And then she's like, fine. And she's terrified. She doesn't want him hurt. She doesn't want obviously be hurt herself. And she's like, okay, I'll do it. Like, we got this. And then she's like so determined to not let anybody else get her hands on the harp that she's like, here we go. But and she's like
Well, and then
struggling to get to the harp too at this point.
yeah, and then down at the bottom, they're kind of talking about like no one knows the prison has always been here. And then they're talking about like part of me wonders if the prison was either built or stocked with its inmates to help hide the harp's presence because
Mm-hmm.
there are so many terrible powers in the wards, blah 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 blah. And Nesta goes, but who put it here? And I'm like, valid question. Valid question. Like when people are looking at like the big scratch marks on the wall or the blood spatter, and they're like, "Oh gosh, what happened?" Or and I'm like, "Who did it? Who who did it?" Like looking around, like, "Who are they still here?" Like,
Here's the thing. That's two of the three mountains that have shit inside of it.
uh huh,
What's in the fourth?
uh huh, uh huh,
Mm-hmm. I wonder.
uh huh. Yes.
Is it the actual dead trove? Dread Trove or whatever? Is it actually where its place is? Does nobody know what the Lyrians might be hiding?
Just
Breathe. As soon as I finished the end of this part, I was like, it was like, you good? Nope.
right,
I
because
get
then
so sucked in.
all of a sudden, who shows up? But more of the fucking Autumn Court soldiers, more of Eris's soldiers,
Right? And
and
then
I'm
you're
like,
like, of course. No, not because when she grabbed the harp, she was in a castle. She was off
yeah,
in a castle. And then we're like, oh, fuck, what happened? All of a
yeah,
sudden, somebody with a crown, an old crown, and I was like, Brie Allen,
Brie
Brie
Allen.
Allen. Oh god, it's Brie Allen. And then she's like, oh, so you seem to have found the harp. And it's like, holy shit. Oh, oh my god. Like,
And
and
because of
she's
that, she
struggling
knows
to get
where
out.
Nesta is.
Yes. So what does she do? Sends Autumn Court after
Sends
her.
Autumn Court soldiers. But I'm also like, who the fuck is she working with that could like get those soldiers there that quick, get them into the prison? Like,
Well, the wards are down.
the words are down, but like, can you just walk in
Yeah.
normally? That sounds
No,
like a bad
well,
idea.
hold on. You can't walk in normally. You have to be part of like you have to be welcomed by the prison or something like that. Because in one of the first books, when Reese went with Feyre, he had to like put his hand on like the bone thing,
Yeah,
which is
that's
what
what I
let them
thought.
in. But now that the wards are down, I think anyone can walk in now. And that was the whole
Yikes.
I think that's why he was so stressed out because like they had to go in. So
Yeah.
I think now anybody can walk in, and I think now anybody can winnow into the place because of like the wards being gone for her to go in.
Well, Nesta definitely can with the harp
Fuck yeah.
because she like uses the harp to like open the door to to get herself out of that area. Um, but it
But
also opens
also,
another door, Lanthis's door. And I said, and I ask again, what the fuck is a Lanthis?
well, for
Um,
everyone's information, it's a mist.
yeah, and apparently I didn't write down this chapter break. I just kept right on going.
There was a
So,
lot to it. One chapter? What do you mean? That was a continuation.
yeah, so the door of
It was
Lanthis' cell
chapter
lay
53,
open.
part 2.
Yeah, and then we're on chapter 54. And Cassian like freaks the fuck out, and he's like, "Run! You've got to run! You've got to run! Whatever, whatever." But
And
then,
then Lanthus is like, I wondered when you and I would meet again, Lord of Bastards. And I'm like, Cassian, don't say anything stupid. You're about to fucking die. Don't do it. Don't do it.
right?
And he's like, all these centuries in here and you haven't invented a more creative name for me.
He's just
And I'm
like,
like,
yeah, fucking
you
with him
gonna die now,
basically.
bitch.
And then on page 542, they're talking. He's kind of like goading them. But then he says, Cassian says, "You true immortals are all the same, arrogant windbags who love to hear yourselves talk." And then Lanthus says, "And you fairies are all blind to your own selves. Based upon scent alone, I would say that you two are mated?
Bum, bum, bum.
Mates?" He doesn't say it,
But
but
he implies
and
it.
Cassian shuts him down. And I'm like,
I was
mm-hmm.
like, I wonder what that was. Huh?
Yeah. And then he like screams at Nessa to run again, and for some reason she does. Like
And I was so mad at this. I was like, absolutely not, Nesta Archeron. You turn around right
she
now and go
wouldn't.
back.
She wouldn't. I didn't like it because that's not something she would do, I don't feel like. But
Right?
she does, and then she finds the fall court soldiers, or autumn court soldiers. I got way ahead of the game.
Yeah, you did. I
Um,
was like, hold on, you don't even know. Like, no one knows how they're there.
we're not there yet. Yeah. Um, and she uses the harp to like get back to Cassian because it can also like basically let you winnow. And then she uses her
And
sword that
it
she forged.
destroys the mist. And
It
what we
does.
see is a dark skinned, blonde haired man laying bare right there. And that is his weakness. That's why he's always missed because he can't be seen. And he's like apparently like a death god of old because he talked about the like the hunts he would be upon
The
and
wild
he
hunt,
would
yeah.
yeah, he would prey on fae and human alike, which sucks, especially if you're like preying on the fae. It's like, damn,
Right?
like there's some strong ass creatures, and you're fucking just like toying with them. And then he sees the power that Nesta has, and he automatically wants her as his wife, which is so fucking weird. And she was fucking
Yes.
raped without being raped.
Yeah, like in
Like
her mind.
yeah, so she like he like sends this vision to her where they're on like she's in all black and she's with the creatures that are etched into the Court of Nightmares pillars, and they're at the foot of the throne and they're by each other's side and they like rule over the world basically. And then he sends another picture because they're husband and wife, sends another like vision of them having sex in a bedroom, and then like very graphically is impregnated, and then like what lay on something or another is there, um some possible bone or it's shrouded in darkness, you don't really see except for that it's kind of bone like, and then that's what makes me think there's something else, there's a fourth item. Come on, it's like someone's got to go into the mountains of the Illyrian Ramiel or Ramiel or something
Yeah.
like that. Like it's there, I think it's there, I think
Well,
it's fucking there.
we'll get there. I feel.
And yeah, I honestly truly don't know.
No, I
um,
don't know either, but like
I
with what
think
we
there's
learned at
something
the end,
common.
I think
I
yeah, I
yeah,
think
but
think we're
I
headed that
just
direction.
I just feel like that's kind of rapey.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, why are you showing a graphic sex scene in this woman's mind? Bitch, you don't even fucking know her.
Right? Ooh.
But he she doesn't say like who she is. She's like I'm a witch from Urid or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he sees who it is, and then he's like, "Oh, we've heard of
Oh
you." And
gosh.
she's like, "Oh."
And then she kills him.
Yeah, because she distracts him long enough for Cassian to get up and stab him with a fucking
Dagger.
dagger, and she's like, "Oh." Here we go.
I
Nice.
just wish, like, I want everyone to go to the YouTube and watch that little clip because that was fucking hilarious.
And she whoop.
That was amazing. And I think everybody should go to the YouTube and watch that clip at 40 minutes ish, give or take a few seconds. Um,
That hurt my
but
cheeks.
yeah, so then that's basically like they get back to Nesta uses the harp to winnow them back to the river house, and Reese walks out the front door, and then Cassian passes out, and we're on chapter 55. And basically, they're going to war again, and they're having like
Yeah.
a war meeting. I didn't write anything till page 560.
I had some on 556. So um they were talking about what Lanthus showed Nesta and how they what is it? They took like the most merciless warriors and grant them free reign to kill as they pleased. And then the Daglan possessed mighty monstrous beast hounds, they called them, though they didn't look like the hounds we know, that they used to run prey to ground before they tortured and killed them. It's a terrible history, and much of it might be elaborated myths. To me, it sounds like the Hunger Games.
Right?
And not necessarily like just randomly chosen, but like these warriors. It's like Hunger Games meets um, Coliseum.
Yeah, or like Maze Runner.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. So,
Yeah.
well, was like, you haven't seen Maze Runner? I was like, no. And he goes, it's a good movie. Gotta watch it.
It is a good movie.
I was like,
And
okay.
it is also kind of like Hunger Games meets the Coliseum. Like that's kind of the
The theme
yeah.
behind it. Yeah. But yeah, this whole like that whole scene, like the hunt or something like that, just reminds me of the Hunger Games, and I'm like, that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
But so now that we've learned all of this, we also have learned in previous chapters that Nesta is a damn good dancer.
Yes, we
And
have.
Reese is like, we're going to use that to our wonderful, wonderful abilities at the solstice dance down in the
Court of Nightmares.
and Cassian is like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like
He's fucking
one dance,
jealous.
he's our ally already. One dance isn't gonna secure him. And Nessa's like, whatever, I'll do
Yeah.
it. Like,
He's so jealous. Like,
and he's so upset about it. And everyone's like, it's fine. Like, it's
it's
fine. We
not a
just
big
like need to.
deal.
I don't think Feyre, no matter what Reese would say, I don't think Feyre would literally like marry her off. I think
No.
Feyre
I don't think
would
Reese would
force
either. Not to
Reese.
Eris.
Yeah, I think they would literally spin it, be like, okay, after the war, like y'all can get married. Like we're not gonna do it until then. Like she needs to
Right.
be tip top shape. Like you need to be in fighting shape.
And
We're
also,
not gonna
she's
do
her
any of this
own
bullshit.
person. So if she doesn't want to, then no. The answer is
And
no.
Reese and Feyre are both like, well, okay, well,
Yeah.
good luck. You want this? It's not our choice.
But Cassian is like super fucking jealous.
Oh, he is pissed.
And then she has them take her to, she says, the cottage. And I was super confused when I first started reading it because I was thinking the cottage, like the cabin.
Yeah, I was like, the cottage. Why are they at the cottage?
Yeah, but then I
What?
realized after I kept reading that they meant the cottage that they grew up in, or not grew up in, but they
Where
lived
the
in when
first book
Tamlin came and
starts.
took Feyre.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's really, really sad because like she's reliving all these memories and like I
but
love
they're
that this
all
is her.
bad memories.
Yeah. And this is her first, I think this is her first step to like healing.
Yes, and like forgiving herself, I think,
Yeah.
for some of the things that she did to survive.
And I think this she needs to do this before she like goes on to play spy with Eris or goes on to
I,
like be that Valkyrie warrior because it's hindering her, it's stopping her from like doing certain things.
it's also a little bit of like letting her dad go, I think.
Yeah. or like letting the fact of like what happened between them go and then just
Her and her anger.
moving. Yeah. But I was like, I'm
Yeah.
not crying.
Yeah. Like it reminds me of that song. It's a country song, and I don't really like. Miranda Lambert, "The House That Built Me."
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of that song, like that melancholy, like almost bittersweet feeling of like
Hmm.
going back and looking at everything and remembering, but also like, ugh.
Yeah, I feel that a lot.
But then chapter
But
56.
yeah, listen, I love these guys so much.
Same. I didn't have anything else. I didn't write anything until page 572.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Emery is in the library, like she's in the library and she's like looking around and like being shown around by Gwen, and then all of a sudden she like goes pale and she's like, "Oh, I must not have drunk enough water during training." Blah blah blah. Um, but I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with Emery?" And she's like reacting to the library almost.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
which
just
is
really
weird.
weird.
But the thing is they were super close to the middle, like to like the pit of the house.
Where Briaxis used to live,
Yeah. So, and
which
then
we'll find
she
out more
was down
about
there.
that later too.
Yeah. Um, well, and before with Gwen and Nesta, they were down there, and Nesta or Feyre or Jesus Christ, Gwen. Gwen was like, just let's keep going up top. Like,
Yeah,
don't look behind. Like, don't look at the shadows. Don't do this. Don't do that. And so, I just kind of chalked it up to, oh, it's just the darkness that sits down there, which really kind of confused me from the beginning. Because I'm like, why would Reese or anybody in the night court like allow this kind of darkness to sit at the bottom of the library where all of these women have been like hurt in some way and this is their refuge, and I'm sitting here like, fuck, why have a library? Like, no one fucking uses it if no one can go down there because of this darkness. Like, what the fuck?
right. Well,
But
yeah. I mean, we figure out a little bit more about that soon. But also, I feel like some of that was Briaxis and them
true.
keeping him there as like almost like a prison, but not a
Yeah.
prison kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
But
then Gwen is like writing a book about them, or like a
yeah,
chapter
about
of a
the
book.
Valkyrie training.
But I'm really shocked that Meryl is willing to put it in her book because she seems like a grade A bitch, and I'm kind of shocked that she's like willing. Holy shit, we're
Not
at
a grade
50
A
minutes
bitch.
already. We're like not even halfway through. Okay. Um,
I know. I got a lot.
but they're like healing, and then Nesta's fourth best friend, the house, takes her on like a walk down into the heart of the library, and she learns that that darkness is like the house's heart, and that the heart is broken too, or the house is broken too, and just like, oh, and the house is one of her broken friends too. Like, I love it.
It's not me tearing up at the house's feelings or anything.
Right? Like, oh,
I love that because like the house has been there for her since day one. And I'm just
yeah.
like,
But I feel like she's been the first person to really acknowledge the house as a being instead of just expecting
just that
things
it's
from it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she like talks to it and like talks about books and like everything. I love it.
And yeah. Uh and then we go on to the winter solstice. And the winter
Yes.
solstice is also Feyre's birthday. So there's a lot of tension around the whole family. Cassian specifically because tonight's the night.
And Nesta has to dance with Eris.
Yep. So Ness has been having some one-on-one trainings with Moore, getting, I hear that surprisingly,
Kipper.
getting excited, not getting excited, but getting ready for the summer solstice. And they go in all fine and regal. And Ness is like, I ain't wearing something like that.
Yeah, she's like,
Because,
I'm
of
not.
course, Feyre's going to come in looking like a hoe.
Yeah, she always does, and so
And
does
she did.
Maury.
Which
Yeah,
I thought was a little weird choice for her considering how fucking pregnant she is.
yeah,
I get it, like tonight's the night you're gonna show everyone you're pregnant, but why are you wearing two fucking like veiled pieces of fabric
yeah,
over your
yep,
swollen belly? Like that's just
yep.
weird. And to me, that honestly really truly gives off weird ass like slave vibes. Like to me, I
Yes.
feel like Feyre is just the person that's just the bearer of children, like just
I feel
consistently
like that's how
swollen
the
with
night court, not the night court, but the court of nightmares
yeah,
is though.
yeah,
And
but
like I feel
like
like that's the face that she portrays there.
true.
Like this
I just
cold ass high
listen, if I
queen
was
bitch.
her and I'd have to go down there, I'd be like, no, I'm gonna be like fucking Nesta. I ain't gonna look like a
Right.
swollen fucking cow full of your breeding issues. I ain't doing that
Yeah.
shit. If my
Hers
mate
is
was
still
fucking
kind
Reese,
of like
I'm going to look like hot and cool as fuck.
hers is still kind of like risque as well though. Like silver thread embroidered the skin tight velvet bodice, the straps so narrow they might as well have been nothing against her moon white skin. The neckline plunged nearly to her navel, where the silver thread gathered to hold a small sapphire that matched the ones on her crown. And the full, but it does have full skirts. But like it
But
still is like woo,
was it cut up the leg? I looked it
maybe.
up. I was struggling imagining a beautiful gown. So I looked
Yeah,
it up and they pretty much all had like a leg slit all the way up to like the thigh.
it doesn't say that, but that doesn't mean it didn't.
I was like, all right, that's canon for me now. That is it.
Fair, fair.
And then she's got like a matching crown.
Yeah,
If I
it's
were to ever have a crown, I would probably have a crown like that
yeah, fair.
because I don't like gold. I like silver.
Same, same. I mean, my nose ring is gold right now, but that's because it's a moon. But
Yeah, my when I got my nose pierced again, and I had that like gold stud in it. It pissed me off. I was like, I just need the gold. I need silver.
yeah, fair. I get that.
But anyways,
Um,
she
yeah.
is
So I was like, well,
the
that's one
beautiful.
way to announce a pregnancy. First of all,
Yes,
like, because they
that's
had no
also
idea.
yeah, and that's also a good way to show off like Nesta,
Yeah.
not but so and it's great because everyone's only a slightly nicer tone.
Yes, but then I'm so like on page 583, they give Eris one of the daggers that Nesta made.
Yeah, and I'm
That
like,
just
why?
I'm like maybe
Like
it's to
to
like
tempt
prove
him
you
with like the
trust him,
power? Well,
but
he
like
doesn't know that it's made.
he does. He says um there's flame in it. Why give this to me? Then he asks that it's truly made and they like confirm it. And then he gets pissed and is like, "You possessed a made item and kept it hidden all these years?"
See, he doesn't know that Nesta made
He
it.
doesn't know that
I thought,
Nesta made it.
yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I thought maybe they did it as like, haha, like look what we could do, like a tempt
Right.
kind of thing. Like we possess this. Like don't fuck with us, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then just like put the cherry on top. Nesta made it.
Yeah, I
Let
just
me let
I
me have
was
that bitch.
yeah. And then they dance. They dance
A
and
long time.
a long time.
And then and then Cassian's like, all right, I'm fucking done. Let's go. So then he gets out there and he fucking boogies.
Yeah, like he cuts in and we find out that he's been like taking secret lessons with Moore. so he could dance with her. And I'm like,
And then
oh,
Az cuts in to make it seem like it's not like a weird thing
right.
to keep up appearances.
And
And
that's
then
the only
Cassian's like,
person that probably could have done that.
yeah, and Az is off dancing with it, and Cassian's like,
And then I'm just like, I literally said on page 587 and all that with the dance, because then like Eris is basically like, I'm gonna marry you, like you're mine. It's that's it. This is the end of that. We're gonna be together. And I'm just like, but like Nesta kind of like leans into it, and I'm like, ew, like you know that they're not actually gonna make you marry him, right? Like what?
and I think because of how much she hates herself and how much she's like
She's like,
struggling
this
with
is
that
all I'm
self
good for.
acceptance, this is what I deserve. Yeah. And I think
Yeah,
that's why she's just like, whatever, I'll do it. He's a piece of shit. Like, I get it. And I
yeah,
think it's like one of her punishments. I don't think she'll ever truly believe that she has been given that second chance.
yeah,
But anyway, so Nessa's got two men pining after her.
yes. And then I just want to know, like, even at the end of this chapter, I'm like, there's something that Reese is not saying. Like, what are you
Yeah.
not saying, Reese?
What are you not giving out to somebody? Because Feyre's like yelling at Reese in their minds.
Yeah,
Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like, what's going on? And Cassian's like, don't you fucking do this. Don't do
because
it.
Eris is basically like, name your price. Like,
Yeah, like name your price and I'll do it. And Reese is like, oh, okay, great. Perfect. And then Feyre's like, are you fucking kidding me?
yeah. And that's why I'm like, what else is happening in there, Reese? Like, what else is going on? Because he wouldn't really do this. So like, what else is he thinking in there?
Yeah. What's the underlying motive here that I have yet to be seen?
Yeah. Then we're on to chapter 58, and it is solstice night, and they're at the river house.
This
Um,
was a perfect night because the last
yeah,
year is when she stormed out, yelled at everybody,
and only
and
came because Pharaoh was paying her.
yeah, and then Cassian's little gift got thrown in the Cedra.
Yeah, and then so I was fucking dying. Page 597. Cassian Ernesta's there, and she's like talking to Elaine, and she's like, Cassian said it might be good if I came. Elaine says, did Feyre pay you like last year? And she said no. And then Elaine goes, please don't upset Feyre. It's her birthday, first of all, and in her state. And Nesta goes, oh, fuck you. And I was like,
And then Elaine just loses it. She's like, all right, well, we're
she
good.
just starts laughing because
And
Nesta
then
would never have said something like that to Elaine before.
yeah. And then they start walking into the next room and Az is like on high alert, like watching. And Ness is
Yeah,
like, the fuck? Why are you watching my
right.
sister like that? And then he looks at Elaine and Elaine just looks up at him and then like you could just see like a little heartbeat happen in her, like she just like kind of thing. And I'm
Yes.
like, what is happening? What has been happening?
Yes. I need a book
What?
about Elaine and Az.
Yeah. And like he's just monitoring her and everything. And so then she just like stands there, looks at everybody, and then Cass is like, here, come sit down. So then she sits down literally in Cass's seat, which is right next to Lucian. And then they're just like talking.
Awkward.
And then she like looks at Feyre, says happy birthday. Feyre smiles and says thank you. And then she like turns and looks at Lucian, was like, how's the spring court? And then we find out Tamlin knows about the pregnancy. And he didn't take it
To be a
well. He
fly on
didn't
that wall.
he didn't take it well at all. And so then they're just talking, and then he's like, how's training? And she goes, good, we're learning how to disembowel a male. And it's great because, like, that's Elaine's mate, and so she knows, and
Yes.
he knows, and so he's like,
He's like, okay, then I'll
"As you'd
just
expect."
stay the fuck over here in my own
Yeah,
lane.
because he choked on his drink, and Cass is like, "As you'd expect." Ness excels at it, and it's so funny because nobody else calls her Ness, just
Yeah.
Cassian, and I fucking love it because everyone's just like, "Whatever." And then
It makes me think, though, when he does that, of the scene in Breaking Dawn when they keep calling Renesmee Nessie, and she's like, "You named my daughter after the Loch Ness monster."
it's like, "Girl, calm down."
Yeah, you're doing too much right now, Bella. Okay, like,
Yeah, and then Moore is like, "Yeah, that's my favorite part of training," and Ness is like, "Well, but we haven't cut the ribbon yet," and everyone's like, "Oh, so you are doing the Valkyrie trainings," like, getting really
yeah,
excited, and then that was when, like, Moore felt like she wanted to ask more questions, and then Ness is like, "Oh, this is good, this is okay, like, I feel comfortable, like,
yeah,
this
like
is what
they're
I like to
respecting
do."
me in something that I'm doing.
Yeah,
Like,
and then Ness or Moore's like, "I'd like to join in," and Nesta's like, "I think the priestesses would really enjoy seeing you, or, like,
yeah,
seeing you there as, like, a calming spirit," and so then everyone's like
yeah, I like it.
and then she feels that Az hasn't been super talkative and isn't, like, being part of the crowd, so she gets up and goes over and was like, "Would you like to sit?" And he goes, "My shadows don't really like the flames," and Nesta's like, "Bitch, I've seen you around shadows before." And then he sees who's, like, essentially leaning up against that, like, thing, and then she just, like, pats his shoulder and goes, "Yeah, I understand." And I was like, "But he's been around plenty of fires before. He sees who stands next to him. The way he looks at Elaine, and I'm sitting here like, hold up,
Uh huh.
hold up." Also, you know what we didn't talk about
What?
during the whole cut-in scene that Cassian did? That Nesta felt like a whole world shift around her, and like that they were like glowing with lights.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It moves on to this next scene here in a little bit, but
yeah.
right off the bat.
That it kind of started there.
Yeah, but then I it was just great. Like all of it
I
was
think
happening.
Asriel goes to give her a gift too. Or are
Yeah.
we not there yet? Am I jumping ahead again?
No, it's like right here. Cuz they're all
Yeah.
talking
So
cuz Moore's like, "Let's open up gifts."
yeah, and Nessa's like, I didn't get you anything, and he's like, I know, that's fine. And he gives her a book light. And I'm like, oh my god, I
She
love Asriel.
just jumps up and and like hugs him and just grabs him and is just so excited. The room completely went silent because this is not something they're used to. And then he just laughed and grabbed her gently. And then she goes, "It's brilliant. Thank you." And as blushes and steps back and like goes back to where he was, and Nesta looked over to Cassie, and that light was once more in her eyes, enough that he almost gave her his gift right then and there, but he was gonna wait just in case like she shattered his heart once again. And I was like,
Oh,
my poor baby, he's so cute. Um but everybody's too drunk to go back to anywhere, so Nesta got to stay at the river house, and Cassian walked in and knocked on the door,
and
and
he gives her the gift.
he's like, "You never asked about your present." And to be fair, I honestly probably would not expect a gift either.
Especially after the way
After
she acted last year. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
and she straight up said that. She was like, "I was an asshole. Like I was an asshole to you. I was this, I was that." And then he hands her like it's basically like a little radio or like a little iPod
Ah!
with
The
all the
gift.
music. And
Oh
she's
my
like, "How'd you get
gosh.
it without like all the people?" And he goes, "I went there the next day and I had them do it and it just like recorded." And I was like,
He like
"No."
went around to like all the taverns and he went back to the Court of Nightmares and like had recorded all this music basically. Like he made her a mixtape basically.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Which is so funny because, like, man, let me tell you, that was early 2000s love language right there.
Right?
But like it was so cute because he like went through all that trouble. He hates the Hewn City, and he went back there and asked the musicians to play the songs again so
And
that he
then,
could get this gift made for her.
yes, it's so sweet. And then naturally,
They started having
being,
sex.
well, before that,
Oh,
being the
yeah, you're
like
right.
self deprecating, like self hating person that she is, she's like, I can't accept this. Take it back. Like, and he's like, no, I made it for you. Like, and she's like, he's like, it's a gift, not a fucking wedding ring. And she says, no, I'll look to Eris for that.
And then it's like,
Bitch.
wait, what do you mean? Like, you're not marrying him. And then he got pissed and he's like, say that again.
Yeah.
And then she actually believes Reese is going to go through with this because Reese says Eris wants me as his bride. He'll do anything we want in exchange for my hand.
Yeah.
And then Cassian goes, you aren't considering saying yes. And she just said nothing, just let him believe the worst. And then he's like, oh, I see. I get a little too close and you push me away. Better to marry a viper like Eris than me, huh? And she's like, I'm not with you, I'm fucking you, there's a difference. And he goes, oh, is that the only thing like that's I'm deserving of? And she's like, I didn't say that. And like they start arguing, and all of a sudden she goes, well, why did you cut in at the ball? And he straight up admits to her, I was fucking jealous.
Yes.
Like you looked like a queen and was painfully obvious that you deserved to be with a princeling like Eris, not me. But I wanted that. Um, if that go ahead and fucking marry him and good luck fucking luck to you. And she's like, Eris is a brute, he is the piece of shit, and I would marry him because I am just like him. And that's when it hit Cassian. She doesn't think she deserves him. And then
Yes.
she goes on to say, you are everything that's good, you are pure, you are like, I will never be good enough for you, your friends know it, and I have carried it around with me all this time that I do not deserve you. I didn't deserve you before the war or afterward, and I certainly don't now. Why do you think I shoved you away? Why do you think I wouldn't speak to you after my father died, after I failed in so many ways, denying myself of you? It was my punishment. Don't you understand? From the moment I met you, I wanted you more than reason. From the moment I saw you in my house, you were all I could think about, and it terrified me. No one ever held such power over me, and I'm still terrified that I let myself have you. It will be taken away. Someone will take it away, and if you're dead, it doesn't matter. I do not deserve you, and I never ever will. And she's sobbing uncontrollably, and he's just like, it makes sense. Like, it just hits him. And then he just caresses her cheek, and then
Basically, they profess their love for each other without saying
yeah,
it. And
like
I'm just like,
without, yeah,
oh.
without saying it.
So
And
I
like
wrote
he kissed
finally.
her. I know.
And then
I
page
was just like,
609,
then they're
they start to have sex, but
yep.
then the mating bond clicks into place for
Yeah, because
Nestra.
she starts talking about like it just feels like silver threads like flowing through us and all of that. And I'm sitting here like, is this the bond?
Thread after thread of pure golden light flowed into him, and he met it with his own. When those threads wove together, life glowed like starfire, and she'd never seen anything more beautiful or felt anything more beautiful. And then I wrote, fucking finally.
I
And
know, I
then
was
on
sitting here, I
page
was like,
610,
is that the thing?
Lord.
Ugh. But you know what? Here's the thing. I thought it was the mating bond. I sat here, I was like, is it the mating bond or is she just
I think
it?
so.
But I was like, or is this like a scrying moment? I was like, no, I think this is the
No,
mating bond.
it's the mating bond. And I think that's what Lanthus was referring to when he said, just by
Yeah,
smelling you, it's clear that you two are, and Cassian cut him off. I think Cassian, much like Reese, already knew. Like it had already clicked for him, but it hadn't clicked for her yet, and he was just waiting.
yeah.
So,
But I'm so glad because like she finally like musters up the courage to be like, stay with me
yeah.
after like they're done, and then he's just
Yes.
like, okay, here it comes. Comes on
Yes.
and like snuggles and then like goes to sleep. And that was like the
Yes.
soundest sleep that she's ever had. And she was like so happy and so excited that the next morning when they woke up, they could do nothing but stare at each other because of how happy they were, basically.
Yes.
And then he realizes, son of a bitch, I have a snowball fight to go to.
This snowball
And she's
fight.
like, what?
He's like, I gotta
And then
go.
He's like, if I don't win this year, like I will never hear the end of it. And I'm sitting here like, okay, I feel like after last night, after everything was done, professing everything, and he knowing like the mating bond finally like clicked into place, I think he's gonna win. We don't know. No one fucking says
Yeah,
anything.
we never find out.
Like that was an important part, and then all of a sudden you're just like, that's it.
I need answers.
Did he win? Who
Yes.
took it this year? Like what's happening? But
And
yeah,
then
he
and the sweetest little thing happens next. Because Cassian, after the snowball fight, has to go to
has to go
uh
to the Illyrian legions and check on him.
yeah. So she's gonna be like alone for a few nights, and she's like, I don't want to be alone. So she has a read in with her friends Emery and Gwen in the house, and that makes me so happy. Like the idea of a read in of just having people come spend the night and just sit around with snacks and all read our books, like that sounds fucking phenomenal.
I wrote that. I was like, you know what? My new goal in life is to have an extra room in my house with built-in library because it happens in the library. Like the house makes it
Yeah,
into like this
into like
cool,
a
fantastic thing.
sleepover.
Yeah. And like provides food, cheeses, chocolate, all of this, and like cots in like this room, and they're just sitting there chilling, like girls' night reading sleepover. And I'm sitting here
Yes.
like, my house is going to have a built-in library, but also it's going to be a sleepover room and it's going to have neon lights like I want and it's going to be fun.
Yes. And like I've always loved like when you see like in movies and stuff, the like what are those called? The couches that are like in the floor.
Murphy beds
They there's like a name of that for them. But
that
they're like
are in
couches.
the floor.
They're like down like depressed down into the floor. There's like a couch. I don't know how
And
to
you can
explain
like
it.
pull it up.
No, it like is just down in the floor. Like, let me just look. Um
Are you talking about like the 60s, like den style?
yeah, yeah.
Ew. What? What about it?
Like
That's what you want?
sunken couches. So something like I'm gonna pull up this picture. A conversation pit. That's what they're called. Shit,
Oh, okay.
like that.
Yeah. Oh,
I want like one
yo.
of those like in my library.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I was thinking like a den kind of thing that you walk down into and it's like very 70s esque, but no, I get it.
yeah.
Man, can you imagine like the good sleep that you'd get just like
Right.
crawling into it and like all snuggled up?
And I love that the house is included because like Emery and Gwen only know the house because of Nesta, and the way Nesta just talks to the house like it's alive, so they do
And
too. And
she
I
was
love that the
asking
house
its
is like included.
questions.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was like,
and
"What's
like
your favorite romance or what's your favorite book?" And then it plops down a book and they're like
yeah, and
so
like having
excited.
yeah, I just love it. And then Gwen brings out the friendship bracelets. Gwen
And
would
this
totally be a Swiftie.
Yeah, this reminds me of so I was in Girl Scouts and we did like Girl Scouts Day or something like that where you meet try I don't know. It was like international something or I don't know. I did a lot of random things with Girl Scouts. It was one of those random like events that we did and went
Yeah.
to. But like we learned how to basically like do those friendship bracelets. Let me tell you, I was shit at them. I would be
I've never
fucking
been good at
Nesta.
those.
Oh my god, I would be Nesta. Like everybody else around me would be like fucking perfect, and I'm sitting there like fucking goblin work.
Same. Same. Same.
I do like that idea where they just brought like a random amount of yarn though, and
Yeah.
they picked colors that made like would that like reminded them of each other, not of each other, but like of the person they were making it for, and
Yeah.
then every time they grab like a trinket, they would like make a wish. I think that's cute.
It was
It's
super cute.
also
I thought it was so much fun.
witchcrafty, and I think that's why I like it.
Manifest.
I might not be good at it, but I like
Manifest.
it. But anyways, and then Nesta makes a wish for them all.
All right. Chapter 60.
We're actually flying
Gwen.
through this now.
We are. We are now. Well, like these last few chapters were all a little bit shorter. Um,
Yeah. Not a
But
lot.
Gwen
A lot
cut the
happens, but not a lot.
ribbon.
Girl, I know. I honestly think the what is it? Nesta's wish for them. I wish for us just to have courage to go out into the world where we are ready, but to always be able to find our way back to each other no matter what. I
Yes.
think that on top of like the training and like the newfound friendship Gwen has, I think that was like what hammered it home. That's
Yeah.
like, I can do this. This is how I do it. And then I think essentially they manifested it. Like she manifested the courage to actually complete it.
Yeah. I love it.
Anyways, I
Oh
also
my
thought it was
gosh.
kind of strange that Cassian was gone for quite a few days right after the golden thread thing. Plus,
Yeah.
it keeps getting brought back up. Nessa's like, he was gone for 5 days. I have not
Well,
seen him
and
in
I think
5 days.
that's
I have not
because the
spoken to
bond,
him.
like, she's like crazy right now because it just clicked for her. So,
I think it's kind of very what is it, like the werewolf bond thing where it's like
yeah.
they're in heat. I think it is.
Yeah, like
Like the
basically.
honeymoon stage.
And then page 624, Nesta says, "You're the new ribbon as," because they
Oh,
all
I
had finally
loved
like cut the
this.
ribbon. And
Yeah. And he was like, oh yeah, good luck with this obstacle course.
yeah, because they started an
And
obstacle course, which is, oh, we don't know that yet.
yeah, we don't
Never
know
mind.
yet. Don't say that.
Never mind.
Shut the fuck up.
Ah!
But I think honestly, it pissed Gwen off when she was like, I can't fucking do it. It pissed her off.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, see you tomorrow,
And that's
Shadow
a whole
Singer.
mood. Like, that's me. Like, if I can't do something, I'm not going to stop until I fucking do it.
Yeah.
That is so
And
me.
she's just like, all right, see you tomorrow, Shadow Singer. And he's just like, and here's the thing. He he's sitting there listening to Nesta. Nesta's like, you have no idea what you just started. Remember how Gwen was with the ribbon? Like, you're the new ribbon, Az. I think Az is finally like, not finally. I think there's going to be something between Gwen and Az.
I like that too. Especially
I
because,
think
like, I don't think Elaine and Az can happen because she put her with Lucian. Ugh. I love Lucian, but also, like, eh, I don't like that. I like Lucian with the
Vasa,
queen. What's her name?
Vasa, Vasa.
Vasa, yes. I also
Yeah,
like Jurian with her though, so I don't know. I don't fucking know.
a throuple.
Well, I
She can
like that
have
too.
both of best friends.
I kind of
But
like
here's the thing.
Jurian and Lucian.
That's a turn of events, but I do like it. I can
I
see
dig
it.
it. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I I think Az is going to forget Elaine soon enough, and then it's just gonna be like this, like, because there's already some like, because he's seen her at her worst.
Maybe that's why we did Nesta
What the
first.
fuck was that?
That was me having an epiphany. Maybe that's why they did Nesta first, like Nesta and Cassian, so we could introduce Gwen. Not introduce Gwen, because she's already kind of been introduced, but like really develop her character. And then maybe we're going to do an Asriel book. Because this is a Cassian book. Maybe we're going to do an Asriel book, and it's going to be about Gwen.
And where's Elaine's story?
Who fucking cares?
Damn. Okay.
We'll get like a
Tell it like
Process
it is.
Starlight novella about that.
True. I didn't need that book at all. That could have just been everything else. It
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. It was fluffy, but it wasn't necessary. It wasn't gritty. It wasn't. Yeah,
was just a lot of random things, a lot of afterwards. But um yeah, I think something with Gwen and Az is gonna start coming up because like he's seen her at her worst, and so she's like, all right, well then there's like he's seen me here, like he's never gonna see me there again, kind of thing. Like
yeah,
using that motivation to be better. And now that she is a Valkyrie, like
yeah.
she's determined, and
She is.
she's also that like outspoken priestess, and I think she's the outgoing version of Az, like the going against the grain kind of thing. And I think they would be perfect for each other.
I agree. And
Anyways,
then so after she says that, they come back the next day. Well, not the
And
next
it's
day.
new.
It's like multiple. Yeah, they come back the next day and it's a whole new obstacle course. But like, oh, this is like over a couple weeks, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
They finally
Or
beat
like two
the
months, I think it
obstacle
is.
course. And they when they
And he
finally beat it, Gwen is like, "Well, like, where's my prize, bitch?" And I was like, "You already have your prize. You just passed the blood right qualifier. Congratulations."
and then she flies off the handle. She's like, and that's why they're here. And Nesta turns around, and is like, what the fuck?
She's
And
like,
then
"Who's
looks
here,
and
bitch?"
sees Devlin,
It's
sees
fucking
Lord
Devlin.
Devlin and somebody else. And then it's like, the fuck?
Yeah. And then which the fuck is right, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I'm just like, "You badass bitches." And so
Good
then
for
they're like,
you.
Cassian's like, short of partaking in the blood right, you're now as close to being Illyrian warriors as you can be. And Nesta goes, I'd rather be a Valkyrie. And
Yeah, because
Cassian
it's
goes,
funny because
God
she's like
help us.
wiping blood off of her like face and like, God, this sucks. Like, no, thank you.
And then we go to the next chapter. And I'm like, I love everything that's happening right now. So I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the bad to start because something bad is about to happen. I feel it in my soul. And then,
Yeah. And she actually decides to go do the stairs by herself and she makes it. She makes it
she
all
does.
the way down. And she's like, well, now that I did it, what am I going to do? No, I'm going to go right back up.
Turns around and goes right back up to the Starfall party.
And then she comes up and meets Cassian. And then they go upstairs to, I guess, the veranda where everything else happened last year or like a few years ago or whatever. And then um she's just so mesmerized by it, like mesmerized by everything, and every single person is watching her, like Lucian, as Elaine, Varian, Helion, Kalias, Vivian,
Amryn.
Feyre, Amryn, Reese, like everybody is watching her, and she smiles at them in like greeting, and then just she now finally feels like I need to survive to be in this world because this world is beautiful, kind of thing.
Yes.
And then she laughed, and Amryn's like, never thought I'd heard that. And then all of a sudden you're like, Amryn and Nesta are talking. What the fuck?
Right. And they basically like Nesta like gets down on one knee and apologizes and yeah.
And then Amryn drops it on her that she made the house.
Yeah. And then so okay. I literally highlighted a whole fucking quote here. Um
Did
from
you actually
Amrit.
highlight it?
I did. I have those like Bible highlighters. And so they're like crayon highlighters
Oh,
almost.
that you could erase.
You can erase them, but they also like don't bleed. So
Uh,
if you highlight, it's not a big deal. But um, I just quoted the whole thing because Nesta Amryn put a hand above Nesta's heart. That's the key, isn't it? To know the darkness will always remain, but how do you choose to face it, handle it? That's the important part. To not let it consume. To focus upon the good, the things that fill you with wonder. The struggle with that darkness is worth it, just to see such things. And like, ugh, like that's just that whole quote is just
and
I
then she
want that
looks towards
on like a
Cass,
wall. Yeah.
right? And then she looks towards Cass, and then it just kind of hits her. She's like, everything's great in the world.
Yeah.
And then Amryn's like, and worth for it too.
Yeah, worth it for that too. Yeah. And then she goes, "Welcome back to the night court, Nesta Archeron."
And it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then I basically just was like, all right, insert Pikachu face because I was like, so it's like, oh my god, like all of this is happening at once.
Yes.
Um,
So then chapter 62,
Chapter 62 really pissed me off.
same. Um yeah, just like
Ugh.
fuck this guy. They're like entertaining Eris, and they're entertaining the idea of them. I don't know. I just ugh.
Well, I like that Cassian is being the courtier. Courtier. What is it? Is it
Chaperone?
courtier?
I don't
No.
know.
Like,
I mean, yeah, like he's the one that's like doing the talking.
yeah, like before
Like,
he always got like stomped on by Eris, but now he's
yeah,
like flirting with that like kind of person that he's got to be with court officials things.
yeah.
And I like seeing this side of him because it's
Sorry,
playful.
I just remembered. Like, like they're kind of like pushing Eris away. Like they're kind of pissing him off a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they realize, oops, we forgot to tell you we have the harp. Like Eris is like, you fucking have it already? Like what the hell?
Yeah. And they don't know that she's got the crown. Brielle, like he doesn't know
Right.
Briellen has the crown. I don't think.
I don't think so. But now he's
But
like, oh, so the Night Court has two of the Dread Trove? Like, we're allies, bitch. What? Is it not good that we have two of them?
yeah, right.
But I don't know.
And
He's just being
I'm
like a
really
big
kind of
dickhead.
confused about like what's going on because I'm like, did you talk to Reese before doing this? Because Reese literally was trying to have your hand for marriage out on the table, and now Nesta's like, I suppose once we have the crown in our hands, the Night Court will need you after all. Neither will I. And he's like, I don't like being toyed with, Nesta Archeron. My offer was sincere, and I'm sitting there like,
That's what I'm
hold
saying.
on,
Like, ooh.
did you talk to somebody about this? Because you straight up just told him, fuck you, I ain't marrying you, in like Nesta language.
Yeah.
Did you talk to Reese about this yet? Because I think he's gonna have a fucking freak out moment.
I almost feel like he did this. Like he orchestrated all this, like dangled that carrot and it's like, well, just kidding.
Ahaha.
But then I think he's going to dangle a bigger carrot later,
Yeah,
either in her weapons or something like that. Like I'm not sure what, but
something.
yeah.
And they leave. And they go flying, and he's like, do you want to walk? And then they're like walking along the river in Valaris. And they were just talking. And he gets a little PDA esque in front of everybody. And it's kind of not like turning her off, but it's definitely like making her kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Uh, and then she's just like, well, yeah, but that's one thing. Like that Feyre and Reese have this picturesque whatever, but like we don't. Like being seen with you is probably going to undermine me as a warrior. And he goes, why does that matter? Like, it doesn't matter that we're not mates or something like that.
Right.
And Cassian gets upset and he straight up looks at her and goes, and we're not? Like, question mark. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, oh, Nesta doesn't know. Nesta doesn't know.
She does know. I
And
think she's just not willing to accept it.
yeah. And she goes, and I understand this of her because she didn't have a choice on being Fae. She
Faye.
just
Yeah.
believed she was human. She was human. I mean, she didn't believe it. She was human. And
Yeah.
then, like, as far as it got for her, like, they don't have mates in the human realm. It's marriage. And so the fact that she's like, that's as far as like I know, like mates don't like it doesn't mean anything to me.
Right. That's not a
He gets
thing.
upset about that. And I get it because like
Yeah.
that's all he knows. So like difference of cultures here. But like she's like, mate is just a word. Like, why do we have to put something on it? He's like, that's bullshit. And she goes, why are you frightened? Or he asks, why are you frightened? And she's like, I'm not. Oh, because you were seen public with me? That's what spooked you, or something along those lines.
Like they're both having their trauma come up in the same moment. Like they both hate
Yeah.
themselves so much and have such low self esteem.
Yeah, and then I think too she's struggling with like, well, what's going to happen when I don't have to like be at the house all the time? Like when I can leave whenever I want, like when I don't have to stay there, what's going to happen? And I think that's what kind of freaked her out. I think that's what freaking her out more than like
Yeah.
the mate thing. And so
Yeah.
then she's like, I don't want to pull him down to where I used to be. Like, what if I go back to that place? And he's trying to talk to her, and she just like stares at him, not talking. And he's like trying to force her to say it. And then she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, why do you think I left right after a holiday to go do official business?
Yeah.
And he's like, I was because I woke up the next morning. All I wanted to do was fuck you for a week straight. And I know what that meant, what had happened, even though you didn't. And I didn't want to scare you. You weren't ready for the truth. Not yet. And he's like trying to force her to say it. And she's getting pissed off. And it's like, okay, you don't tell Nesta to do something because she's not
Right.
going to do it at that
She's
point.
not gonna do
You're
it.
just
Like
going to get
that's
pissed off. And she even says it. She's like, I'm not saying it because he told me to.
right. Like she's like, nope, that's not fucking happening.
And then he's like, I knew this from the first time I fucking met you. And he screams, I am your mate for fuck's sakes. You are my mate. Why are you still fighting it? And then he's like, you promised me forever on solstice. Like, why is one word somehow throwing you off that? And then she goes, that's because that's the last of my humanity. Like, that's the last of what I know. Like, if I agree with this, then that's it. Like, I'm not this person. And then she's like, I am no longer human in any way. I'm one of you. I thought you wanted to be us. I don't know what I want. I didn't have a choice. And that was thrust upon her. And so then he goes, well, I didn't have a choice of being shackled to you either. And
Oh.
it's like, the audacity. Shackled?
Ooh.
And then he realized what he said. He's like, oh, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. Like, I'm
He's like,
sorry.
I
Like,
didn't
trying
mean
to
it like
take it
that.
back. And she's like,
She's like, I'm calling it our bargain. Bye bye.
don't talk to me. And you know what? I think this is funny because she straight, okay, so she tells Cassian, go away. Don't talk to me until I talk to you. More did, or not more. Feyre did the exact same thing when she found out about the mating bond. And then Moore took them
Sister,
both away.
sister.
So I'm sitting there, I was like, oh god, she's gonna take her to the cabin, isn't she? She's gonna have like her like a week at the cabin reading smutty books. But no, she
No.
goes to Windhaven to go see her bestest friend.
To Emery. And then who shows up?
Gwen. And the
Gwen.
fact that Gwen
Gwen
is so
leaves the
far away.
library. She leaves the library. She leaves the mountain. She leaves the house.
And she's like, I heard you might need us. And she's like, some things are more important than fear. Just please don't remind me too much. I'm so nervous I might throw up.
And then they like have another little kind of sleepover thing, like a cry fest. And Nesta like feels a lot better. She like a weight lifts from her. She's like, I'm gonna tell Cassian everything tomorrow. Tomorrow everything will begin. And then all of a sudden, she smells a male, but it's not Cassian, and hears Gwen scream, and then she gets chloroformed, basically.
And all three of them are abducted. And I'm sitting here like, please don't be Eris. Please don't be Eris. Please don't be Eris. Like pissed off at like what happened to
I
him.
was
And then
pretty
I was
sure it
sitting
was
there.
Devlin, but I didn't realize what was happening.
See, and then I sat there and I was like, oh fuck, what if it's Tanlin? What if it's Tanlin because he found out about the like pregnancy and like he's trying to use this against Feyre? Like what happened? And then I was sitting there, I was like, no, it's the fucking Illyrians. It's the
I was so
Illyrians,
sure it
isn't
was
it?
the Illyrians. I was certain it was the Illyrians. I was like, it's Devlin. Like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, he's gonna make them. Is he making them pay for?
Yes.
And
Oh my god.
kinda,
Yeah.
But
And
I
then
feel that he's going to regret making them
all of
pay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then chapter 63 was literally just 2 pages, and the only thing I wrote on there was fuck.
I wrote, oh fucking hell, holy fucking shit, they're doing the blood right. And then
Yeah, because
that's the
Cassian's
end.
like, all right, I'm gonna like wait until the this night is done, and then I'm gonna go find somebody to talk to. And then he finds what is it? He found Reese at dawn and asked him to winnow him to Windhaven. And as soon as they got to Emery's place, he's like, what the fuck? Something's wrong.
Yeah, and Devlin confirms everything. The blood right began at midnight.
Yep.
And this
And
is where I
Gwen,
started coming up
Emery,
with
and Nesta
theories.
were snatched from their beds to participate in it.
Yes,
Dun, dun,
and this is where I was
dun.
coming up with my theories. I feel like SJM is not a happily ever after writer, so they can't all three survive.
Yeah, I think Emery's
So
gonna die.
I have one of two theories. I could see Emery dying because I feel like she's not the one that would tug the heartstrings the most, but she is the one, like, but she is like an important character and very relatable. She's like the comic relief. However, I could
The comic
also
relief
see,
always die.
yeah, but I could also see, because SJM likes to really like dig in there deep. I could see her martyring Gwen for the cause of the Valkyries, and I could see the other priestesses coming out because of Gwen and like in honor of Gwen. I know I should be a writer. Are you crying
Don't say that
already?
to me.
It's not
Oh
even
my
happened.
god, that is terrifying because I can see it.
Yeah, right? Like I could see her
Oh
doing that.
no.
So I want to just call off work tomorrow and go finish reading
Just
this book.
finished reading. The sad thing is we're not gonna record for like another couple of weeks.
I know, I
So
know.
unless you want to record again. Oh my god.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, well, that ends part 3. On to part 4, Ataraxia, which is the sword's name, by the
Yeah.
way.
I don't know that we said that out loud, but yeah.
We did it. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, I need to go breathe because that just terrified me for the rest of the I don't want to read it now.
You're welcome.
You ever just get that like scared feeling? It's kind of like your story's coming to an end and then you like procrastinate in finishing it because you don't want it to end.
Yes.
I don't want that to be true. Okay, anyways. Sorry about the long episode. Damn, sorry.
It's okay. The other one we just recorded was short. Next week's will be short.
Yeah, okay. Until next time.
Bye.